We'll stay up north this time in the Upper East region, where police in Bolga are yet to make any arrests in connection with the violent clashes in the area over the weekend. 5 people were reported injured in the clashes, which appear to have been sparked by chieftancy disputes. Calm has since returned to the area, but there are concerns that violence could flare up again. We're joined now on the phone by our correspondent on the ground, Albert Sorry. Hello, Albert.
Hello.
Albert. Well, rather, I'm joined over the telephone by Nabat Sigri Bewon, who is president of the Upper East Regional House of Chiefs. Thanks for joining us here, Naba.
Thank you.
Naba, what is it that the House of Chiefs is doing about this chieftaincy clashes, the chieftaincy-related clashes that occurred in the area?
Well, when the late Martin, I believe, gone to the village sometime last year, then succession to the scale. There were problems over the succession. So, at the standing committee of the National House of Chiefs that was held in December, directives were given. I, as the president of the Regional House of Chiefs, should go into it and then report back. So since December, I've been holding meetings with the various factions. And meanwhile, the directive said nobody should do anything about any escapement until the team comes out with their findings. We've held a series of meetings with various stakeholders, and this has been going. The mediation team has received a lot of submissions from various factions. But on the last week on Thursday, one of the factions said the regent was calling a meeting to skin himself on Saturday. So I immediately contacted the regent and said it was a big rumor. You also heard the other faction too was preparing to go to Nigeria for escapement. So immediately the regional security council called a meeting and I presented a report, and then so I issued a letter directed that nobody, they should not do anything concerning statement of any chief until the mediation team comes out with the work. The letters were sent out to all stakeholders. That was one.
Now, but
Friday.
What would you say is the progress made on this long-standing dispute?
Yeah, the progress made so far, peace process takes time, and as I said, we are making progress. We are making the progress, and we meet each function at different times. Then before we now bring the two parties so that we agree on a common formula, the way forward. So this process has been going on. It's taking a lot of our time, meeting them. Until this Saturday, just a misunderstanding that the region was going to screen itself. The region said, no, you're just calling an ordinary traditional council meeting. And that's how it went. And I'm meeting the function tomorrow. Our mission tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm meeting them again.
What we understand also is that the police has decided to leave these the recent clash into the hands of the House of Chiefs to deal with. How does this come to you?
Yeah, fine. So tomorrow we'll find out why, because this time we tell them that peace is paramount. Allow peace to prevail so that we will work. So we'll find out from what actually happened. Why was that? Why did they breach the peace process? So tomorrow we'll find out. I'm meeting them tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Naba. Naba Sigrid Bewon is president of the Upper East Regional House of Chiefs. Now, Albert Sorry is our regional correspondent, and he's joined me over the telephone. Hello, Albert.
Hello, Kevin.
Now, let's get into the mood in Bolgatanga at the moment.
Well, everything is calm. It's been 3 days after the incident, and really, when you get to the area where it happened, it's called a BC. Nothing there shows that there was even a clash 2 days ago. So everything is normal. The area is calm. There's no problem there at all.
Tell us about security in the area to maintain this order that the area is experiencing at the moment.
Well, the regional police PRO told us that they are making sure that their men stay on the ground just in case something happens. But if you get to the ground, you don't see them patrolling. Maybe they are, situated at a location I didn't see them. But when I visited there this morning, I didn't see any police present. But the whole area is calm.
What reasons did the police give for not making any arrests after the clashes?
Well, yesterday when we spoke to the regional police PRO, ASP Thomas Agbanyo, the reason he gives is that they don't want to end up arresting people, because usually when you do that, you may just increase the tension and maybe the anger. So they want the situation to be handled, in terms of the dispute between the factions as far as this Chieftancy matter is concerned. They want the regional House of Chiefs to settle that, and then later the police can look at the damage that was caused in terms of the bag that was vandalized and also the injuries that were caused to some people, and then they will decide whether or not to make arrests.
Very well, thank you very much, Albert, for the report. Albert Sorry joined us from the Upper East region. The Kumasi South Hospital has suspended the decision to impose extra levies on patients to help ensure constant supply of electricity. The hospital explained last week that a 3 cedi levy was needed to purchase fuel for its generators. That levy was endorsed by the Regional Director of Health, but in a sudden turnaround, the hospital is now saying that the levy has been suspended, and reports indicates that the facility was in total darkness yesterday, forcing patients to seek treatment elsewhere. Over the telephone now is our regional correspondent Erastus Dasari Donko to give us an update on the situation. Hello, Erastus.
Yeah.
What more can you tell us about the suspension of the 3 cedi levy?
Well, we had information that was on Saturday that the collection of the levies has stopped. And so I rushed there to check on the situation. And indeed, the revenue collectors told me that there's been a directive that they should suspend the collection of these levies. I tried to find out where the directive is coming from, but they just told me management says they should suspend the collection of the fees. It is also important to note that on Saturday, the power went off from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And so laboratory services, for example, had to be halted because they could not fuel the power generator. And so those services had to be suspended. Patients had to be asked to seek help somewhere else.
Right. And how is this affecting patients?
Well, definitely it will bring untold hardship on patients who cannot afford the services. Mind you, this service outside costs more than you will have it in the government hospital, where part of it is also catered for under the National Health Insurance Scheme. And so currently, as we speak, I'm trying to get authorities to tell me whether there will be any contingency measures to keep the hospital running, even in the event that the load shedding exercise affects them.
Was there any explanation given for the turnaround in the decision to charge the 3 cedis for electricity?
Well, the explanation so far has been that they need to fuel the power generator to keep it running. They need to keep the hospital running because their IGF, majority of which comes from the National Health Insurance claims, have not been paid for the past 4 months. And so they are not getting any source of other income from anywhere, and so they have to collect the EC. But then, now that it has been put on hold, they have to find other means of getting the hospital running. Then they will have...
Erastus, what I'm asking is, do we know why it was put on hold? Because earlier, the Regional Health Directories had okayed it. Do we know why
exactly.
it was put on hold suddenly?
It's coming as a surprise to many of the people I've spoken with. So far, management is a bit tight-lipped on telling me where the directive is coming from, except to say that they put it on hold. I'm now trying to get information from the Regional Health Directories, whether it came from their end, because the director himself okayed it and endorsed it. That was on Friday. And so it's coming as a surprise why another directive will say put a hold on the collection of those levies. So by midday, we will be able to get our listeners all this information.
Very well, thank you very much for the update. Erastus Asare Donko joined us from the Ashanti region.